Okay, here's a tutorial on how to edit your website, Whitley County Council on Aging. So let's get started. I have added a login button up here at the top right of the website. Once you go to your website, it's at the top right. Once you do this, I will have to first send you an email and set you up as a user. But once you have your login information, you can choose the login, and I will do that here. Once you are logged in, you will see this bar at the top here. This little speedometer dashboard area, I'll click that. It will go to kind of behind the scenes of the website, and I will go through some of this in a minute. This is where you add users and pages and things like that, but I'm going to mainly show you how to edit text and some photos and things like that from the front end. I'm just going to open this in a new tab just so I have this old one open over here. Okay, so here is your main site, and you can navigate through the entire site, and then when you want to edit a page, you choose edit with page builder. So let's say for instance this donate button here, we don't have the actual PayPal set up yet, so what I'm going to choose is edit with page builder. Takes a minute to load, and then as you highlight, once you choose edit with page builder, you see things like this smart container, this section here, which contains all of these items. The gray bars, the black bars, and even the blue bars you won't mess with. You can have us change things because those are more related to the layout and the function. But what you can do is when you highlight, what you're looking for is this teal bar. So the eyeball hides an element. You can custom save elements, which are down here. This is your element toolbar. You can put a heading in. There's just all kinds of different options at the bottom here that you can put in, but for your guys' editing capabilities, I would just say just edit what we have. If you want to add stuff or delete stuff, let us know and we can take stuff out. But the main option you're going to click is the gears. This allows you to actually go in and edit each item, change the text, change colors, or things like that. On this item here, though, I'm just going to hide it because we don't have it set up yet. And then when you're done, you click publish in the bottom right. If you do not click publish, then the page will not be live. So what we can then do is, we're still in page builder, so I'm just going to right click and open link in a new tab, so then I can view the site. So there's just a white box there until we get that donate button up and running, which I think is okay. If it's not, then we can change things up a little bit. What's next? So let's go back to this tab, which is our page builder. Let's say you don't like this text, or you want to change or edit this text here. Again, here is the title element, which has both of these items in it. Here's another title element. So this is the top one, this is the bottom one, and what you're going to do is click gears. Try to move this so you can see it. And I just messed up. Okay, so right now we have our alignment left, which makes all of our text align left over here, which is what we want. Here is the font settings tab, and there's different tabs here that do different things. Mainly, most of the stuff is going to be in the first 2 or 3 tabs. So we have our vision, that's the title, and then the text, the smaller text is under the plain text options. It's right here. Just a side note, you can change this to like different pre-formats, headers, heading 1, heading 2, all of that, which makes it larger. But what you really want to do if you want to change colors and things like that is this little box here. If you click that, you can highlight your text and change the font. You can change the size. Leave that back. You can change the color. Here's a bunch of different colors you can choose, or you can just edit it. If you see a spelling error or anything like that, you can just double click and you can retype your word. I won't save it. Here are font settings. So when you first come into this window, if you want to change color or size of things, I have the title settings right here with this teal color, which matches this. I have the size, and when you see this little pink live button, it means if you change this, I'm just moving my mouse up and down as I select, you can change the size of this and you can see it live. I'm going to move that back. So I have it set to uppercase because I want all the titles to be all caps. You can change the boldness. 800 is a little thicker, 600, you know. Here is letter spacing. I have it at 6. This is 0. I think it looks better with a little bit of letter spacing. There's different font styles: normal, italic, font family. You can change the font. And then the plain text, or that's subtitle actually, which we don't have, but I have it set. So you can actually add other text underneath our vision as a subtitle if you want, but we just added it in plain text. I'm not going to edit that or save it. Okay, so next up is photos. If you don't like this photo or want to change it in the near future, again, this is a media container, a different element than the title element, but you just choose the gears. And then photos are in the background and styles normally, and different elements. So here is the element or the photo that it's showing. And what you can do is, if you want to change this out, is select the image you want. And you can go through the library here and choose previously uploaded images, such as this one here. Or if you would like to upload one from your desktop, you can actually go to your desktop and bring in a photo, and it'll drop in right here into your media library. Once you do that, you can select the photo here, and then you can choose to insert. So if I were to save that, then this photo would change, such as that one right there. And then you can see that it crops it down a little bit just because of the vertical format that it's in. You can also change in gears, you can change the height. I believe you can in this one. Right here is the height. So as you can see, we could do something like that and change it up. Always remember to hit publish to save the actual, even though you click save in here, and we changed it. If I do not click publish at the end, it's not going to actually save the page. And I will show you right here. I'm going to refresh. And so everything is back to normal, because I did not click the actual publish button at the bottom right. Here again, here is title element. I may actually go in here and change something real quick. So I'm going to make this Poppins like my other titles. Let's make it uppercase. Let's go 6 spacing. Make this 45. And then I want to change some of the padding. So because I went in here and gave this a line height, it's good practice to always add like a couple pixels above the font size for the line height, because the reason is when you move your window down to mobile size, it's going to create 1 or 2 lines. And if your line height is not set, or it's set to less than the actual font size, let's say it's 40, let's make this exaggerated a little bit. So let's say it's 27. And then you see your text problems on mobile would start overlapping. So just a helpful tip is if you change text or title size, to make sure that the line height is larger than the title. Another thing is because I increased the line height, I actually reduced the padding. So padding is spacing. So here we have padding. Margin is margin inside and around. Padding is just like a bumper space. They're similar. Trying to get this so you can see it. So if I increase padding on the bottom, it's the bottom of the title element right here. So it's increasing the space between that and the text. So we really don't need a whole lot. So I'm just gonna add 2 or 3, just so that there's some space, and that when we go to mobile size, there'll be a little bit of spacing there. Here's an icon box. I'm not sure why it's not a text box. We just probably got rid of a photo and just left the text in there, which is fine. So here's the description. Here's font options. So so there's different ways you can do with different elements. You can still add text in a lot of them and control them. Things are controlled a little bit different, but again, if you want to add elements, let us know. We can probably do that. This text here, this is a revolutionary slider, so if you want to change this, I'll show you how, but it's a little bit tricky. I will show you that in a minute. It's back on the back end, so It's kind of complicated, so I would probably rather you guys have us change, if you want to change this text or this photo, to have us do it. I will show you how to do it though. So while you're logged in and browsing around, you can work this main menu, go about us. Don't forget to hit publish in the bottom right to save your page. After you click on a new page, you will have to click edit with page builder on each page if you want to edit that page. So once we click on page builder, here is your title element, and it works the same way as the other ones. Here's your font settings. Here is the title. Plain text. Here is all your text. Toggle your toolbar here, so you can change colors or whatever. And all of these work the same. As I stated before, you don't really need to see the black. You don't need to edit these, but what they do is a full page width is 12 out of 12. So half a page is 6 out of 12. So you see that this item here, this black is this square here, is a 4. So this one here needs to be an, well, this one's only a 3. It could be actual 8. I'm not sure how that is working. I think the media container has some settings in it. So this is kind of a rare situation here. But for instance, this one is 6 and this one is 6, which splits. So if you wanted, let's say, another, let's say you want 3 here, you would just make these 4 apiece. And then what you could do is this is a clone, this double page. You could clone this. And since these are already ready for 4s, it will stick another 4 in here. Now, if this one was 5, it would put this one down onto the next line. And then since I duplicated it, it duplicates the inside element, the title element as well. You can choose the gears and then just change to your new title. And then you could add simply a 3rd box there. The X button is delete. This move element here can move, so I can slide this one in the middle and slide the tax form one over. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to move this back to 6. So that's a little bit on these elements here. This has the same, the main title element has the same capabilities to be duplicated, which will stack it underneath inside this same box. And then you can choose to move it, so we can move it above or below, and then delete. Trying to think here. I think that's it for editing. One helpful hint is we have a custom subheader which you can't get to edit it unless you hide the header. It's just kind of how we have this set up. We can change things, but if you need to edit this photo here, this little icon here says hide header. You won't actually be able to click on that because it kind of goes away as you move your mouse up. You have to actually hide header and then hit settings, and then you could change this photo out. About us, here's the heading. One other thing is these are all in sections, so this white area is in this section here. This is in its own section, so that's how we kind of keep everything apart and on the same lines. But if you wanted to change this background color, you just choose the gears of that section, go to style options, and this is your background color. Now, I showed you the toggle toolbar, the text color. It showed a bunch of colors because for some reason it doesn't have our standard built-in colors. So what we've done across most other elements is that we have your standard color palette here. So we use these exact, like gray, gold, white, teal, and black, all on the same throughout the entire website. So if you wanted to match other items, these down here are kind of like the hotkeys. We could change it to a dark, and you got to kind of wiggle this to get it to change to live. So that don't look bad either. Or you could change it to teal. It's too much teal, but we like the gold. It's a good accent color. So that's how you change background colors, like this gray back here. We could go to settings, styles, options, background color, and you can just drag this down, make it dark. But you got to be careful. If you make it too dark, then obviously you can't read your text very easily, so then you'd have to go in and change your text color. Okay, so let's go to the dashboard. In here, the first thing I'm going to show you is your pages. So this is all of the pages that some of them we don't even use, some we do. But this just shows information about the page, and then you can edit with Page Builder right from this spot as well. But it allows you to delete pages and things like that as well. You probably won't have to be in here. Most of your time will be spent with Page Builder editing the actual page. Here's your media library. You can, if let's say you want to upload a bunch of photos from an event, you can have your folder open on your desktop, and then, for instance, if I wanted to drag a bunch of photos over, I could select those and just drag them right in here to add photos. Be careful, you don't want super high resolution large files. It will slow down the processing of your website. You'd want to keep your photos probably around 500 kilobytes or less, just as a general rule. Another way to add images is to add new up here at the top, and then you can drag into here as well, or you can select files, which brings up, you know, your folder system. So then you can choose an image and then click open or whatever, insert, and then those will stay in there, and then you can use them to put into different areas of your website as needed. So one thing here is appearance. Under here is your menus. This controls your menu items up here. I will show you that briefly on how to rearrange or add a page. So here's your main menu. You can create different menus for different spots. Here is the location. So I have the main menu set as the main navigation. And here are all the links. So over here it shows, you can view all. This shows all of the pages that we've created. And all you have to do is click on one and hit add to menu. And what it'll do is it'll put it down here at the bottom. And then you can move it from there. So here is your main home about us services, and you can see this little indent here for general information, facts, and donate. And what that does is it creates a sub page. So here you got about us, and then the general information, fact, and donate are underneath about us because these are slid over to the right one. So if you wanted facts and donate underneath general information, and on the third level you would just slide them to the right, and then these would be underneath this. So you can then you can also move and rearrange the order. So if you added a new page and wanted it up, you could select the item and move it up one, and then this one would be above that link. Again, this is not an area that you guys will probably spend much time in. If you need to make changes and don't feel comfortable, let us know. We can make those changes. Once you're done, if you want to save it, you would click Save Menu. Most of these other things you're not going to mess with. And then here's users. So if somebody else would like to edit the website, I would recommend keeping it kind of minimal to the amount of users you add, because then that can just create more passwords, more opportunities for somebody to mess up your website. But to add a new user, you would click Add New, and then you would type in the person's username. I think that's right off the top of my head. Enter their email. You can choose to enter their first name and last name if you want. And I'm actually going to do this and set you up as a user. Oops. And then I'll make you an administrator. Administrator has full range capability, so the highest level, they can change anything or edit anything. Editor is somewhat limited. They can edit pages and things like that, but are a little more restricted on the dashboard side. I just make everyone administrator if they're in here to edit at all. That way they have full capabilities. So I'm going to add you as a user, and what will happen is it'll send you an email, and then you can actually set up your own password and then choose to log in. And then you can add anyone else as well on setting up them as a user if they need to edit the website. So there we go, it's set up. We have our guys on here as well to edit things. So this is not the right email for me. One more thing is I will show you. So this is some theme options here. So under general options, there's header. This is where we control the main look. Like here's your logo. This is all back end stuff that you shouldn't need much. You shouldn't spend much time in here. Just because this is where we do all of our behind the scenes main look. Like here's the menu font options for the main menu. You can make them a little bit bigger, change the color. So right now they're kind of a light gray. When you hover them, it turns gold, like so. They're a little bit small, but we could probably go up a size. Oh, should have changed this one too. The problem with going up a size is that this starts getting real wide. That looks better though. And then this is the mobile friendly menu. And once that gets too wide, it'll start overlapping your logo and things like that. So that's why we got to try to keep things less links up here, more sublinks, and the size kind of small to a point. I think that's really it. I mean, there's a lot of other things in here we can go over, but I think that's enough for now. The main part is really just logging in with the login up here in the top right, choosing your page, choosing edit with page builder, and then selecting the teal or red bars depending on the element, and then choosing the gears to edit that said element. To make your changes. Our internet's running slow right now, but I was just going to show you quickly again. Hide an element. This actually hides it from here and as well as the live website. And then to edit an element again, choose the gears. You can clone it, move it, delete it, hide it, and save it. Saved elements are here. For instance, I have to edit each page, I actually saved a title header. And I was trying to put it in website. It's still loading. Our internet's a little bit slow, but anyway, if you have further questions, or if you have to edit something that I didn't explain in this video, then feel free to give us a call, and then we can go through it with you, or explain it, or do it ourselves. So hope this helps. Thank you. Have a good day.